I used to be Leonardo Delvo, the man in the glass office, the one people waited to meet, the one who made decisions that shifted entire rooms. But now I'm just the guy outside the bakery. The first time I stretched out my hand wasn't for pity, it was for survival. That day, I stopped waiting for someone from my past to come find me. No one was looking. Not anymore. These streets don't waste time on sympathy. They teach you fast who to trust, who to avoid, where you can sleep, and where you might never wake up. Out here, everything costs. Safety, sleep, food, even silence. The streets don't care who you were, only who you are now, and how far you're willing to fall to make it to tomorrow. People say beggars like we're all the same. But out here, everyone's got a story. Rico barely 20, fast mouth, faster feet. He dances at night to send money home. Clara silent since the night the world broke her. She didn't need words to survive. And then there's me, once respected, now reduced to measuring hope in coins and crusts. I've been punched, kicked, pushed off benches, but the worst violence is silence. It's when they walk by without seeing you. Like you're not even human. Like you're part of the sidewalk. They don't have to hit you to hurt you, they just have to keep walking. The man who once stole from me sat beside me one day. He didn't speak, he just handed me a bruised apple. I didn't ask why. That apple wasn't just food. It was proof that even the broken still choose to give. You might see me and think I'm nothing, but I had a name, I had dreams. Now I have scars. This life isn't what I planned, but it's mine. I pay the price of survival every single day. In silence, in hunger, in being unseen. But I'm still here. And maybe, just maybe, you'll see me now. Most people think we beg because we're lazy, because we chose this. But let me tell you what really drives someone to stretch out a hand. Poverty, trauma, addiction, mental illness, war, job loss. Sometimes it's a single bad break. Sometimes it's a lifetime of them. I've seen men beg just to silence the voices in their heads. Women who ran from abusive homes. Children too scared to speak. Some are caught in a loop of addiction, yes, but it didn't start there. It started with pain, with trying to numb what never healed. Others, they were laid off, evicted, forgotten. They weren't weak, just overwhelmed. And me? I used to think I was untouchable until life touched everything I had. You can't tell who we are just by looking at our clothes. You can't guess our stories from the way we sit on a sidewalk. Shame is a heavy thing, and helplessness, it turns proud people into shadows. Before I asked for a coin, I asked myself 100 times if I could bear it. I still ask myself every time. So next time you see someone asking, don't assume you know their reason. Ask yourself instead, what would it take for me to end up there? If you're gonna survive out here, you learn fast it's not just about begging, it's about how you beg. This world, this street life, it has its own rules, unspoken ones. You adapt or you disappear. Some sit in silence, their palms open, their eyes downcast, quiet, passive, a silent plea, hoping guilt is louder than noise. Others, they make sound their weapon. A cup half full of coin shaken, over and over, like a metronome of misery. It's a rhythm that cuts through the city, noise clink, clink, clink a cry, and metallic code. A reminder, we are here. And then there are the senso, the signs. Hungry veteran, single mom, cold and alone, words chosen like a scalpel, just enough to pierce a harder, a conscience. Some cry, some fake it. Some have perfected the art of tears on demand. A tear for $1, a sob for a sandwich. Others take it further. They perform in the sidewalk, in the rain, on a cardboard stage. Singing, painting, telling stories, acting broken, even when they're not. Because pain, real or imagined, sells. because brokenness, when visible, moves people to give. I've seen folks get creative, dressing worse than they are, wrapping themselves in filthy blankets, smearing dirt across their faces like war paint, tearing their shirts just right so it looks like they've been through hell, even if they just came from a shelter. And maybe that sounds wrong to you. Maybe it sounds like manipulation. But out here, it's not a scam. It's a strategy, a way to eat, a way to survive, because survival doesn't wait for dignity. For some, it really is theater. For others, it's their truth raw and unfiltered. And for most of us, it's survival. The performance is real because the hunger is real. We aren't out here for attention. We're out here because we have nowhere else to go. And sometimes pretending to be seen is the only way to be seen. I learned that the hard way. Out here, the strategy isn't to baguettes to make them feel, because if they feel you, even for a moment, they just might give. People give with their eyes first. They judge with them too. If you look too clean, they think you're faking. Too dirty, they think you're dangerous. If you're young, you're lazy. If you're old, you're tragic. If you're a woman, you might get sympathy. If you're a man, you're just expected to get a job. Our faces tell stories before we speak, and on the street, your appearance is your voice. The cardboard sign, the dog by your side, the trembling hands, the tears, the silence. All of it, intentional or not, says something to the people passing by. Here's the hard truth. Some people out here are playing a role. They exaggerate pain. They fake illnesses. Some have homes, even incomes. They do it because it works, because it pays. And every time it does, it makes it harder for those of us who are truly suffering to be believed. But can I blame them? When you're starving, when you're freezing, when you're invisible, sometimes pretending to be worse than you are is the only way anyone will see you. It's a line we all walk between truth and performance, honesty and survival. And most days, we cross it without even realizing. You see someone on the street, a man maybe, wrapped in layers of worn clothes, holding a cardboard sign that simply reads, "Hungry." He doesn't speak. He just looks up-eyes tired, face hollowed by time, and something deeper. Your heart responds first. You feel it rise, this instinct to help, to reach into your pocket, to offer something, anything. But then the voice in your head kicks in. What if he's lying? What if he just wants money for drugs? What if this is a scam? You've heard the stories. You've seen the videos, people pretending to be poor, faking illness, collecting more in a day than some people earn in a week. And so your hand freezes, your kindness stalls. Your mind becomes a courtroom, debating guilt and innocence of a man you don't even know. But here's the part no one talks about. That split second between impulse and decision, that's the price of uncertainty. It's the cost of a world where trust is rare and pain wears many masks. Some people give anyway because they'd rather be fooled than be cold. Others walk away because they've been fooled before and now their kindness comes with conditions. So does giving help or does it hurt? It depends who you ask. But maybe the better question is, what does it do to you when you choose to see someone or to look away? Some say giving enables addiction. Others say it preserves dignity. Some call it charity. Others call it foolishness. But here's the truth. That coin, that sandwich, that second of eye contact, it can feel like hope. Like maybe, just maybe, you still exist in someone's world. You see, out here, invisibility is the real killer. It's not just the hunger or the cold. It's being looked through, as if you're part of the pavement, as if you've already vanished. So when someone stops, when they kneel down to ask your name, or hand you half their lunch, or just smile like you're human, it hits different. It reminds you that you're still seen, that you still matter, that you're not completely forgotten in the chaos of the world. Even if they don't know your story, even if they walk away the next second, that moment stays with you. Because kindness out here, it's more than survival. It's a signal that you're still part of the human race. There are other ways to give, ways that go beyond the sidewalk. Yes, that coin might help someone eat today, but real change? That takes more than pocket change. Brief pause. It means supporting shelters, places that don't just offer a bed for the night, but dignity, safety, a second chance. It means funding mental health programs, because behind so many tired eyes out here, there's trauma, grief, illness, wounds that can't be seen but beg to be healed. It means advocating for affordable housing because no one should have to choose between rent and food. Because survival shouldn't depend on luck or charity or shame. It means donating to the fighters, the charities and volunteers in the trenches, the ones who don't just offer a meal, but ask, what brought you here? And then walk with you until you're back on your feet. Change doesn't start and end at the edge of the curb. It begins when we stop seeing homelessness as their problem and start seeing it as ours. Because the streets aren't just filled with strangers. They're filled with stories. And some of those stories could have been ours if life had gone just a little differently. I don't blame anyone who walks past. Not anymore. I know how easy it is to look away, to keep walking, to avoid the weight of a stranger's eyes. It's not cruelty. It's exhaustion, fear, helplessness. We all carry too much already. But I remember the ones who stopped, not because they saved me, not because they gave me money or food or a miracle, but because they saw me, just saw me. A nod, a smile, a simple, "Hey, you okay?" You'd be surprised what that can do to a man who's become invisible. What it feels like when someone makes eye contact with you, like you're still human, like you still matter. Out here, kindness doesn't have to be loud. Sometimes it's as quiet as being noticed. And when you're forgotten by the world, being noticed is everything. I don't blame the ones who passed, but I remember the ones who paused. Out here, the struggle doesn't just begin with a coin or a meal. It begins long before we stand on the street corner, holding a sign, hoping someone will notice us. There's a system that has failed us. A system that pushes people into poverty, keeps them there, and expects them to pull themselves up by their bootstraps while ignoring the broken ladders beneath their feet. Poverty isn't an accident. Homelessness isn't just bad luck. It's the result of 1,000 small, invisible failures. Failing education systems, failing healthcare, a lack of affordable housing, systems of mental health care that are underfunded, overcrowded, and inaccessible. We hear about personal responsibility, but what about systemic responsibility? What about the people who fall through the cracks? The ones with no safety net beneath them and no one to catch them when they do. I used to blame myself for my situation. I used to think, if only I worked harder, if only I had done more, I wouldn't be here. But now I see things differently. This isn't just an individual problem. This is a collective one. The truth is, we're all connected in this, those of us living on the streets and those of you who walk past. Every time someone is ignored, every time someone is left to suffer without help, we all lose a little piece of ourselves. So the real question is, what are we going to do about it? It's not just about throwing spare change into a cup. It's about understanding the root causes. It's about asking the hard questions. Why are so many people in this position? Why are we as a society allowing this to happen? How can we fix what's broken? We need policy change. We need more affordable housing. We need better access to mental health care and addiction services. We need job, training, education, and support for those who are struggling to make ends meet. But most of all, we need to challenge our biases. We need to stop seeing homeless people as other or less than. We need to see them as people, real human beings, with stories, struggles, and dreams just like anyone else. And if we want real change, we need to demand it from those who have the power to make it happen. We need to hold our governments, our leaders, and ourselves accountable. Because as long as homelessness is seen as someone else's problem, it will never get solved. This fight is not just about the streets, it's about all of us.